All right. Hello. See here. Want to jump on here and talk about something right quick. Let me do this right quick. 'Cause I want to really get your thoughts on this issue because everybody's really hyping up the whole limited series that Netflix did about the Madam C.J. Walker, and I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it because I kind of have a thought about it too, and I was a little bit concerned because I know that many of us, especially in the black community, in our community, we've heard um, stories about Madam C.J. Walker, like we heard about other pioneers when it comes to Black history and what they've done over the years for us, and how they made ways and encouraged others to. Hey, babe.
Are you live right now?
Yeah, I am.
I'm sorry.
You can join the conversation if you want. I don't care.
What do you?
I'm talking about this Madam C.J. Walker thing.
Oh.
Just want to share some thoughts about it.
Go to room.
You can definitely come in. I can get my wife's
Daddy's
opinion
right now.
on this. My wife's opinion, because and my wife's opinion counts a lot because she is actually a cosmetologist herself. She is in the beauty industry herself, so this really hits home for her because she this is her field. This is what she does. So yeah. So this time I didn't do the.
Well, no, I don't think he was expecting me to.
Yeah, so I actually hop in.
I was
So
coming
I'm
in
actually,
to ask you something else.
and I'm actually on both.
Get my hair together. My at-home look. Well, not my at-home look, but. Okay,
buddy.
I accept your apology.
Buddy.
You want
I
to
love
play?
you, man. All right, we'll be back in a minute, okay?
Daddy.
Okay, I'm gonna come back in a minute. Okay? Oh my gosh! So now y'all getting the real life. Y'all getting the real life for real. This is the real deal right here. Okay. Come on. Let me just settle this down. Oh, it's okay. Calm down. It's okay. Okay. See, now you want to get in the camera. See, that's
Exactly.
that's what it is.
Nothing wrong with him. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with him.
You really want to get in the camera.
Exactly. Crocodile tears for real.
Alligator.
What do you say, alligator?
Because I said crocodile.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No
Y'all
yelling.
are messing up this whole
Okay,
deal.
go.
Where's Keith?
Go play in the room.
Go play in the room. We'll be in a minute.
Daddy.
Okay,
He's
so
coming. He's coming.
you know we got more
Okay.
people when the kids
He's
came
coming.
on.
Daddy's
They like
coming.
this. They
Go
like
play.
to see the
He's
kids
coming,
come and interrupt the video. They love that. So I did a video earlier in the week, and the kids came in, and one lady commented on my video and said that she enjoyed the video, but what she really liked was the fact that the kids got into it. They came and interrupted the video, so they love that kind of stuff. Anyway, so like I was saying, he came like
JP, okay. Go get a popsicle for Pete. Pete, can you give them a popsicle, please? Cut it in half. Thank you.
This is really what we deal with. This is really what we deal with. Okay. All right. So basically, I want to talk about the whole Madam C.J. Walker thing because I know that the series, everybody was talking about. Well, not say everybody, but a lot of people were talking about it coming and how inspiring it was, and how they liked the fact that of course, the whole self-made black woman, one of the first black women millionaires in the country, and all of that, and I thought that was good. On your 2 page?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I thought that was good, but I never thought about until they showed the series. You think about how much of the effects and the toll it takes on a marriage.
Yeah.
Now it seemed like when they first started out that they were together. They were doing it together. Everything was cool. Everything was they were making decisions together and all that kind of stuff, and it seemed like it was really working out well for them. But then circumstances and situations and other things start transpiring, and then they start having issues in the marriage. But the problem I'm seeing is that they never stopped to work on the marriage.
Well, the show didn't portray them.
Well, it didn't portray them to stop
work
working on the marriage. All it did was show them how they need to just everybody sacrifices for the business.
Right.
Everybody pushes for the business. Everybody goes in hard for the business.
Right.
And so it really poses a question and a concern and a challenge to married entrepreneurs to make sure that even though you're pursuing after your business goal, you're pushing hard, going hard for your business, that you really got to make sure that you also make time to build and work on your marriage. And that shouldn't go, your marriage shouldn't go lacking because you're trying to be successful in your business. I know a lot of people like, well, they first look at it and say, well, he was just jealous of her success. But my question is, or my thought process rather is, well, how can he be jealous of her success or her business? What it's supposed to be, they're supposed to be in business together. It'll be different if it was her business on her own by herself and he wasn't in working in the business. They were supposed to be doing it together. The Madam C.J. Walker is actually his name.
C.J. Walker.
C.J. Walker, rather. C.J. Walker is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Joseph Walker. That's his name. So she took his name, or they took his name and built a whole company around the business, about his name. And I understand the tensions of the day and things of that nature. I know that also, too, that the man is supposed to be the breadwinner. And I understand all of that. But when a married couple is in business together, I think that they have to get out of his company, her company, it's their company. You know what I'm saying? If they're doing it together, right? If they're doing it together, it can't be his company, her company, his company. It has to be them together. So it helps to eliminate that whole jealousy mindset. I mean, am I making sense? I mean,
you are making sense. And the reason why I chuckled is because, first and foremost, it starts with the marriage. Okay. It starts with the foundation of the marriage. When you take the I's and the me's and the minds out of the marriage first, it makes it easier for you to come into a marriage. It makes it easier for you to operate in the marriage as us and we and our.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in the case of Madam C.J. Walker and her husband, I think that what I saw was that she struggled so much and she honestly allowed the success or the path of her building a legacy for her family, for her children. She allowed it to cloud her judgment in where her main focus needed to be, which was her marriage. She put all of her focus on building the business alone, by herself. What do I need to do? This is what I need to do. This is my business. And so even, I think it was his dad that said, she's always saying my business, like the dad brought it to his attention.
Yeah.
You know, she's saying this is my business, but this is y'all's. And even though she was the face of the company, even though she was the I won't say the brains of the company, because she wasn't solely the brains of the company. It's funny because it's very similar to Jay and I. It's very similar to you and I. Jay is my IT guy. My husband is my IT guy. He is my behind the scenes. Run your ads, Kiana. Let's get your ads together. Let's get your website going. This is how we need to push it. He's not the face of Marie L. Artistry.
Right.
I'm the face of Marie L. Artistry. I'm the one that's giving the classes for Marie L. Artistry. But my husband is also a part of my business because he is the one who allows Marie L. Artistry to even be out there, you know, in the virtual world for people to even see the face of Marie L. Artistry. So it's just as much his company as it is my company. And we're both doing just as much work. But I think that in the movie, it portrayed her as being, neglecting him and, putting the business before their marriage and, not giving him the quality time. Like one of the reasons was, it's all about the business. Like, when am I important? And he said, this is my house. And when I say
important? When am I important?
Is that hypothetical, or are you asking me when are you important?
No, I'm just saying, it's hypothetical. Because it can easily flip the other way too.
Right.
A man who has run the business, he's an entrepreneur. He's always working, always doing the business. And then the wife is neglected, or the children are neglected. And they can feel some of that. But sometimes it's not. But the thing is though, you never hear as much the jealousy word come up as much if it's the opposite, because quote unquote the man's supposed to be the breadwinner. So you don't hear that, oh, she was jealous of his company. That's the reason why this to happen, that happened because she was jealous of his company. Usually leans toward the woman's success of a company or a business or whatever. Then they say, well, the man was jealous of her success or whatever. But again, I also want to say this too. That's what the movie portrayed.
Right, because I was going to say,
because we don't know.
There was only one part in the 4 series that are available where it actually showed that he was without a job. Only one part, only one time. Now we don't know how long this man had been without a job.
Working. He was working.
You know, he was like, no, I'm doing this. You know, they didn't portray it as if he was, you know, this lazy, low down husband that wasn't doing anything. He was in marketing. He was in ads.
He was doing ads for her. He created ads for her.
I mean, so it wasn't like he wasn't doing anything. I just feel like it portrayed it as if she was doing more than what he was doing, and some of the decisions that he was making was not good for the business, and not good for the business in her mind. And this is where a partnership comes in, and this is where marriage plays such a major role when you're working. And I say this all the time whenever we go live or whenever I go live. It's very difficult to mix business with pleasure. Okay, which ironically, that's where my husband and I did. I know. We met in a networking group called Mixed Business with Pleasure. I met him in a business networking group. But you have to be able to take out some of those personal characteristics that you know about your wife in the home aspect, and you have to look at her in a business form. Like, I'm a different type. I'm a similar businesswoman as I am as a homemaker and a wife. But some of those characteristics they vary. They're not the same as far as business wise and as far as home wise. When it comes to business, I'm like, my husband says I'm a micromanager. Okay. When it comes to, I micromanage everything.
Yes. God.
I am a go-getter. Like, what I see is what I'm gonna go get. Things have to be very, very specific. Things have to be very. Go finish your popsicles.
Because go-getter, and micromanager is 2 different things.
I didn't say they were the same thing.
Go-getter, because you put them together right, you put it right behind each other.
I'm a go-getter, and you say I'm a micromanager. I'm a go-getter.
I cannot work for this woman. You hear me? I cannot work for this woman.
Stop, guys. Now stop.
She's a micromanager. I cannot work for this woman. But
can you put it on something, please?
But I do believe. And I want to know y'all's thoughts too. Whoever's on the live right now, who's ever watching with us, if you're on here right now, let us know your thoughts about this too, because I would like for you to chime in on this and let us know kind of what you thought about it when you watched it, the pros and cons of it. Did you like it? Did you feel like that he was jealous, or she was overbearing, or they should have worked in a marriage or whatever? I'd like to know your thoughts on this too as we talk about this. Let us know what you're thinking about this whole.
I think you can work with your spouse. I think there just needs to be, just like in a marriage, there needs to be boundaries. There in a relationship, there needs to be boundaries. In a partnership, in a business, and both people need to understand what the vision is for the business, and that's where your communication comes in. If both people don't understand what the vision is for the business, then it creates chaos, because he's thinking it's this way, she's thinking it's this way, vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay. So you both have to understand, what is the vision for the business? Okay. What is the mission statement for the business? What is the outcome for the business? What are we trying to accomplish? What is our end goal? And if both people are on the same path, then you both have the same end goal in mind. Therefore, whatever steps you need to take to get to that, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, looking at this deal. Sorry.
Whatever steps you need to take to get to the end goal becomes easy, because you both are focused on the same thing. When you're both focused on two different things, it makes it very difficult for you to come to common ground. That's in a marriage, that's in any relationship, but more so in a marriage. And if your communication in your marriage is solid, then your communication in working together in a business can also be solid. But if your communication in your marriage is lacking, then it makes it difficult for you to communicate in business transactions with your spouse.
Chastity Gafford says, "I agree, ma'am. Vision."
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important.
One thing that helps us out, and it helps me out, I know personally, is that as we work on the business, we're building the business, we're always thinking about we're not really building it for us. We're building it for our children.
Right.
We're building it to build a legacy for them, and it helps us to have have that mindset. Well, it's not just about our comfort. It's not just about what we have. Not that we don't like enjoying ourselves, being comfortable, and all the things because we do, but we also concern ourselves in making sure that it's a legacy built for our children.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How many people do we have right now on the live that are in business with their spouses?
Yeah,
Just
just
post a heart.
Yeah.
Post a heart if you're in business with your spouse.
In business with your spouse. Yeah.
Because it definitely can it definitely can create, friction, trying times. And just to be transparent, this morning we had somewhat of a heated fellowship about me taking classes on Sundays. Now, in my industry, we the beauty industry, Sundays and Mondays are our days where we're off, where we're closed. Sundays and Mondays are our days where we do trainings, where we do classes and things of that nature. But I'm never going to sacrifice the ministry. I'm never going to sacrifice my family for my business.
And see, for me, Sunday is for church. I'm old school. I'm old school church kid. Sundays is for church. And I've always sacrificed whatever else I need to sacrifice for the sake of church.
Mm-hmm.
So if something else goes on, it goes on without me because I'm at church, and so that's always been my mindset, my thought. You got all the rest of the week to do whatever you want to do, but Sunday we do church, and that's just my thought process. And it's really been difficult for me because we've taken vacations on Sundays,
mm-hmm.
and it's been a challenge for me because I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be at church this Sunday. And as simple as it may seem, some people might think, oh, you're overdoing it. But for me, the way I grew up and the way I am programmed, Sundays for church,
And it took him a long time to even get to the point where I had to plant the seed. I had to pray about it. And then, seriously, I had to plant the seed and I had to pray about it because he was very adamant about, we're going to church every Sunday. And I'm fine with that. I have no problem with going to church every Sunday. But my issue was, what if we what happens when we take vacations and we take vacations on the weekends? We can't take vacations on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like we can only take vacations on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like for me, I had an issue with that because
is that a gray hair?
No, that's Lent.
No, I think that's a gray hair.
Let me see.
Right there in the middle of my head. You see that?
Right here? Oh yeah, it's a little curly.
Oh man.
That's okay. Look at my gray hair.
Who is
Julian,
my gray hair?
Julian.
I'm gonna go and pull it out. It's right in the middle of my head. Anyway, so church.
So
Sundays for church.
Okay, so
Sundays for church.
Okay.
Sundays for church. And
well, let me finish saying what I was saying.
All right.
I feel like you need to have a balance between the two. Sundays are for church in our home, in our house. That's what we believe, that Sundays are for church. And you stated that it's okay for you to miss a Sunday if we're vacationing out of town because we're still going to have church. And let me say this: church can be wherever you are. Okay, you are the church.
Yeah, that's cute. That's
okay.
Real good. Yeah, that's good. That's good and cute. All right, but this is okay.
Let me finish.
Okay, because I got something to say. I got something to say.
I know you do. Let me finish
about
please.
that right there.
But if it's okay for us to vacation on a Sunday, if you're not sacrificing your family for work every single Sunday, and if you're missing church every single Sunday for your business, I feel like that's an issue, and you're not worshiping with your family in service. If you are at the office every single Sunday, and you're not in God's house with your family every single Sunday, and you are a believer, and you and again, you are the church, and you can have church anywhere. But I also
proved that
feel
today.
Like,
a lot of people try to prove that today. You
right,
can have service
anywhere.
So, yeah.
But I also believe and feel that it's important to go to the house of God to worship with your family as well. As long as I'm not skipping out on church every single Sunday. Every blue moon, I'm taking a training class or an entrepreneur class or some type of class on a Sunday because in my industry, that's where most of my classes are offered because in my industry, in the beauty industry, those are our close days. Those are our slow days. Sundays and Mondays. Monday is corporate America's first day of the week.
Your industry need to be saved.
For us,
your industry need to be saved.
Our first day of the week really starts on Friday. Like Truth be told, that's our busiest day. Friday is our busiest day. Tuesday, shops will open, spas
Your
will
industry
open.
need to accept Jesus Christ as their personal savior.
Okay.
That's what your industry needs to do.
Okay.
Now, I want to say this though, real quick about the whole marriage, Mr. Sunday. Now, the main thing for me, as far as not being at church on a Sunday, it was when we were going to do something together for us for our marriage.
Right.
Now, that to me, if we're doing something for our marriage or for our family, that's worth a sacrifice. Because we're actually because I do believe that marriage comes first. That has to come first. That your first ministry is a marriage. That should be the first thing that happens and transpires to think about. So to me, that comes first. So if I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to sacrifice because we're doing something for the marriage. We're doing something for us. We're doing something that helps us unify and come together. Especially if we've been working all week, working for several months and all that kind of stuff. We want to take time out. We found a good spot, a good deal or whatever. If we can sacrifice that to go on a vacation, I think that's fine. So that's my thoughts in regards to that.
But if you're taking a training or a class or you're at an expo or whatever it is that you're taking on a Sunday, and this expo training, whatever information you're going to gather is going to help the business that you and your spouse are in, and it's going to help increase more revenue coming in for your family, is that not for your family? That was a question. That wasn't hypothetical.
Oh, that's a question to me?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we should ask a question to the audience, because Sunday is for church. I feel like that whatever training I need to go to or want to go to, if it happens on a Sunday, I'm going to try to find a way to still make it to service, make it to church first, then go to the training or find out if that training is available some other time or whatever, because my importance of that. This is a whole other video. This will be a whole other video. We switch gears. This will be a whole other video. I feel like that church, because it's so important to me and it runs so deep for me, I would still try to find a way to sacrifice that for church, to find some kind of way to work it around some other kind of ways. That's just how I am. But can we get back on the purpose of the
yes? Let me say this
video?
though. Let me say this before we get back to. I make it my duty to put ministry before my business, because without ministry, without me having the word poured into me, without me understanding what my calling is in this industry, I will be lost. I've said to you, and I've said many times, this is my gift. This is my ministry. The beauty industry, I've always felt it as a sense of ministry for me.
Okay.
Because the gift that God gave me to be able to help someone feel good about themselves by changing their appearance, whether it be their hair, whether it be cosmetically, their face. That's a God-given talent that has been given to me, and that I've always felt in some sense that is my ministry. That's not to say, though, that when I do attend classes on Sundays, I always make sure that there's a way for me to attend service first and then the class afterwards. I can count on one hand.
You helping somebody though. You helping somebody.
Well, I mean,
you helping somebody.
Because ministry does come first.
Well, okay.
I'm going to hit church. I'm going to hit church, but I'm going to go to church first.
But ministry is everywhere, and so I think what you said earlier about that you believing that your gifting, and we believe this, we teach this, that your gifting that God has given you for ministry can be used anywhere, not just in the four walls of the church building, but wherever you go, that ministry follows you wherever you go.
Right.
So that part should play a part. Your gifting should play a part wherever you go, because that's what's important. So yeah, definitely. It goes wherever you go. We teach that your gifts are transferable. Mm-hmm. So your gifting is transferable. So whatever industry you may be in, wherever job you may take on, a business you try to create or build, your gifting follows you inside of that ministry, of that business rather. Your gifting, your spiritual gifting follows you inside of that business. So you can't take one out, take this part out and not be part of that, because your gifting is you, and it's going to show up eventually wherever you are. So yeah, I have to agree with this, and I understand that. I'm just an old church kid though. Old school church kid, boss.
We know. We have an understanding now. We have an understanding, which I tell Jay all the time. You knew that I was a hairstylist and I was in the beauty industry when you were dating me. And he had this whole other story for a whole other day. But when he married me, I was transitioning from
the church.
I was transitioning from one aspect of my industry to another. I went from being a stylist behind the chair, working 3-4 days a week, to now I'm going to be an instructor. And even the first 2 years of our marriage, I was a stay-at-home mom. So that go-getter mentality, that hustle and bustle, that grind mode chick that he met and fell in love with,
she was on pause for a season.
I was on pause for a season because it shifted. Like my drive and my why shifted.
Yeah.
Whereas it was just me and Keith for 12 years, and now it's Keith, it's my husband, Keith, and a baby on the way, or we just had a baby. And so now that's all of that grind mode, all of that hustle and bustle, what I'm saying? She got to do what she got to do type of mentality chick. That shifted to, now I have a family to shift that type of mentality to. Mm-hmm. So let me do whatever it takes for the family to be able to have and reap the benefits of me being in the hustle and grind mode.
So that grind shifts from being inside of the business to now shifting inside of the family. So now you have that dynamic, and this is what we're really talking about, the whole dynamic of having a marriage, having a family, but still being an entrepreneur at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to make time for all those things and still try to make sure the business is able to be sustainable, or even if it can be put on pause a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit, in order for you to have time to build the family and build the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is one thing that the movie did not display,
right?
Did not show, was that, hey, we've had this success, because he said it. We're doing good.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's just chill.
Can we chill for a minute? But her drive, and I really think that her drive also stemmed from her competition with the other lady that she worked for at first.
Not only that, but also from her parents too.
Her parents, the issue with the girl, and the whole concept of the dark skin versus light skin women.
Yeah.
The whole issue of I can't give I got the drive, because she said she wanted to be bigger than all the other companies. She wanted to have all this. I want 10,000 women.
Yeah.
Coming here. She wanted all of that to happen because, and I think that and it happens sometimes. The things that bother us or anger us in one instance, or where we feel like we had was shunned or pushed away, that now becomes our drive to be successful in the other area, because I've been pushed aside for so long, I've been talked about for so long. You take that energy and you transfer the energy into building something better for others who felt like me, who were others who were treated like me.
Yeah.
But what happens is you get a spouse, you get a husband, or you get children. They ain't never treated you like that.
Right.
They never did you like that. So sometimes you have to learn how to kind of shave that off or shut it off for them, because they're not giving you that energy.
Right.
You taking that energy and you making it blanketed deal for everybody and everything.
Right.
And it really should be for the business drive. Because what I saw, that the whole family, everybody was all in.
Right.
She was all in, the husband was all in, the daughter was all in.
Yeah.
Even though she had to push the daughter a little bit, she was all in.
Yeah.
And then when the girl, when she adopted the young girl, she was all in.
She was all in before she got adopted.
Yeah, she was all in before she got adopted.
Yeah.
So it was everybody all in. And I just feel like I just really hate that. According to the display, that it had to cost so much of a marriage in order for that to happen. I would have liked to see, and I would like to see more entrepreneurs, married entrepreneurs, be able to share their story of how they've been successful in business as well as in marriage, showing how they balance the two, showing how they work the two, showing how they were able to make it work, even though they had these different issues and problems that came up, making sure no one else feels like they're slighted, feel like they have lack, feel like they're being unappreciated, feel like they you're not making any time for them. You got to make time for the marriage. Like we talked about the other video, we said that quality time, family time has to be intentional. So you got to make time for it. You got to do that.
One of the things that I'm going to say this, and I might ruffle a couple of feathers for saying this, and you guys might not agree with me, but what you and you women who are on this live, you've heard it before, okay? What you won't do, the next chick will, okay? When you leave your spouse, when you leave your spouse's mind to be idle, you give the enemy an opportunity to come and play with his thoughts, okay? When you don't do what you have called to do as a wife, then you leave your husband vulnerable to more of distractions, whether they be with his mind, his eyes, his ears, his hands, his mouth. When you are not
senses,
when you are not in the will of God, when it comes to being the spouse that God has called you to be as the wife, then you are leaving him susceptible to things that can come his way. As a wife, it's your job to cover him in that way, from the crown of his head to the bottom of his feet. It's also his job to cover himself as well, so that the enemy does not come to steal, kill, and destroy whatever God has put together. Yeah. I think with Madam C.J. Walker, she lost sight of that because she was so energized with the drive that she had to be able to make this business work, that she left her husband vulnerable. And because she left him, and you have to own up to that. You have to own up to what part you played. Right. Yeah. You have to own up to what part you played in your spouse being vulnerable. And not only that, you can take the mindset of I left him vulnerable, but he should have been strong enough. No, sis, you also have to be strong for your husband as well, just like your husband has to be strong for you. So it works hand in hand. It's not a 50-50 type of situation. It's a 100-100 type of situation. So in no place, no form or fashion am I to leave him vulnerable for anybody to come and step to him incorrectly. And so my prayer is that if that does happen, then he's strong enough to withstand the tricks of the enemy himself. Not only if I'm covering him in prayer, he's covering himself in prayer. So there's no way for this to even happen. I think that she left him so vulnerable because she was so focused on the business. And not only was he not strong enough to withstand it on his own, he fell for it. So therefore, here comes an affair. So there's vulnerability on both sides. She left him vulnerable because she was not in the will of God, doing her part, which means she was not maintaining the marriage like a wife should, as far as what God has called the wife to do. And then he was on his, trip because, he wasn't strong enough to withstand the tricks of the enemy. And the enemy knows exactly what you like. Obviously, he liked them light skin with nice hair because that's who he went to. So,
I think he was set up a little bit though, because she didn't really want him.
She did.
She wanted the success.
But the way to get to the success, like she told him on the phone, I want to be mad. You told me I was going to be Madam C.J. Walker.
As I'm saying, she wanted the success.
But
she
in
didn't
order
want
to get
him.
the success, she needed to have his name.
Yeah, she wanted his name.
That's the thing.
She wanted the name.
What?
She didn't really want him, and I don't think he really wanted her. I think he was, according to what the movie portrayed, I really felt like he still wanted her, and he didn't really want this woman. He wanted his wife, but the circumstances did not go that way because of neglect and abandonment.
No, ma'am.
So, yeah, I think that I wish that it could have been a better situation where it could have been a story of reconciliation, but that wasn't that wasn't the way it went down.
No.
So she worked so hard. She worked herself so hard. I think she died in her early 50s.
Yeah, she did.
She worked so hard,
Go to the light.
Yeah. So, but all in all, I wanted to say, encourage every entrepreneur out there, especially those who are married entrepreneurs, to make sure that you don't allow, because we glorify the success of her, as far as the business aspect was.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure we also have the mindset and goal that we don't want to just glorify folks who are doing business as well. We also want to make sure that we glorify people doing marriage as well.
Yeah.
Because in this day and time, especially in our culture, we don't have enough success stories of married couples who also are successes in business as well. Those are not portrayed enough in our culture.
Right.
They're not shown. They're not shown enough in our culture. Where is the movie?
Right.
Where's the biopic? Where's the documentary of the married couples that work together in businesses and they were able to be successful in marriage as well as in entrepreneurship? We need more stories of that. Maybe it's up to us to make that story. Maybe it's up to y'all to make that story, make this story valid and true, and make it a reality. So we have more stories like that come across. But I say it poses a challenge to every married entrepreneur to strive for as much success in marriage, or even more so success in marriage, as you have in your business as well.
Right.
So
the same drive, the same tenacity, the same push that you have towards making your business successful is the same drive, tenacity, and push you need to have towards making your marriage successful. But that needs to come first. If your marriage is having all of those great positive aspects, I don't see why your business, you and your spouse being in business, could not have those either. If your communication with your spouse is good, then your communication with your spouse in the business is going to be good. But if your communication with your spouse in the marriage is not good, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to come on common ground to make business decisions. Yeah. There are times where Jay will ask me my opinion about something about the church, even though, he's the church leader, he makes the decisions, he gets other influences from his mentors and things of that nature. But there have been times where he's asked me my points and my ideas. And even though, I'm the wife of the pastor, I still give my input. I give my input when it's asked of me. And then I also give my input when I see something.
When it's not asked.
When it's not asked.
Yes.
But let me say.
Come on, somebody.
Let me say why. Okay. I give my input because I'm another set of eyes for him.
And I welcome that.
And he genuinely welcomes it.
Yeah.
My husband and I are both business savvy. I thank God that I married someone.
I think you got it better than me though. I really think that.
And see, that's where I disagree with you because
that you got. I think you have. You're more. I'm more. I have. I'm savvy maybe in technology, but when it comes to just bare bones, when it comes to bare bones business drive, getting it together, I think you got me beat with a stick. Okay. For real, I do.
Well, thank you, babe. I appreciate that compliment. Yeah. But I feel like that's where we balance each other out. Really, because, prime example. My website is up and running, been published for what, 3 months, 2 months now?
It ain't been that long, girl.
Okay, a month, 6 weeks?
Maybe 3 weeks.
It has not been 3 weeks.
I don't know.
My website has been up for at least a month. Okay. Now, we just added the quick links page. Okay. This week, but it's been up for at least a month.
It took 5 years though.
But it took 5 years.
It took 5 years for you to give me the content. It's another video though. But it took you 5 years to give me the content needed to get your website. I could have had this done. But go ahead. What you were saying? I'm not gonna interrupt you again. Go ahead.
Okay. Took him 5 years. Okay. And one of the reasons why it took 5 years is because I had 2 kids and I was pregnant 2 years out of our marriage. Okay. And I rebranded my business. When I retired from behind the chair, I rebranded it to where it was something totally different. I was no longer doing here, and now I'm focusing on this. Yeah. So I had to rebrand the business. And then with rebranding the business, I needed to have new content. And so then it took me at least a good year to have enough content for me to even work on saying, okay, now I want to get this, now I want to get that, now I want to have this. And for years, he's been saying, Kiana, you need to get professional pictures. Kiana, you need to have professional pictures. And he just got on my nerves. And finally, I was like, you get on my nerves. And so I sent him a picture for a flyer. And he was like, see, this is not going to work. And he made me so mad that I was in the bed and I just got on Groupon. I found something,
You need professional pictures, Doc.
Okay, I understand that, okay? So I went on Groupon, I ordered Groupon, I got the professional pictures, I made the appointment for the next day, and I went and got the professional pictures. When we got the professional pictures back, okay, when we got them back, they were the perfect addition to the vision that he had for my website.
Vision.
And the perfect addition to the vision that he had for my website. Now, let's make this understood as well, or make this clear. We both had a very similar vision for my website. I wanted it to be clean, clear, concise, neat, and straight to the point. And he executed it perfectly. Now, mind you, I did have a couple of changes here and there, and I was just like, but he executed it perfectly. Exactly. I got exactly what I asked for as a customer. Of course, I had those moments where I was like, would you ask a customer how to do those? I did that. But, because I'm his wife, I was privy to that type of questioning. But I say all this to say
we gotta wrap this up. Something happened. Wrap this up.
I say all this to say that, it's important for y'all both to have the same vision. And he's the perfect addition to.
Come on.
Did you go potty?
No.
Okay, go potty.
Go potty, buddy. Go potty and come back. Go potty and come back.
Let's go potty.
Are you done, baby? We done?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I do want to say this, though, when it comes to working on your business, especially doing any type of things where you're building up online, a website or trying to advertise online or whatever you're doing, any type of publications that you're trying to do, you need to have professional pictures done. These pictures that you take on your camera phone are not necessarily professional pictures. You need to go and take the time, spend the money, and get professional pictures done, professional shots done by a professional, so that you have something to show when it comes to your publications. You don't want to put anything out there because you're representing your business, so you want to make sure that you remember that your business has to look professional. It needs to look like a business. It needs to be portrayed as a business. It needs to be publicized as a business. So that's why I really pushed her and others who I've created websites for, done any type of publications or marketing for, that you have to have professional shots done. You want things to look professional for you because it's a business and people looking to see how you represent. So you want to make sure you represent yourself well. So with that being said, we're going to close up for tonight. Thanks everybody who hopped on. Feel free to like, share, and comment on this video, whether you're here now or later. And again, like we said, it's a challenge to married entrepreneurs that if you're going to be in business together, you want to make sure that you also support and build up your marriage and as much as or more so than you do your business. So we wish you much success with that. We want to hear your stories about what you're doing. Feel free to comment about your stories of what you're doing. Let us know what your business is, especially if you're in a business and you're married together. We'd like to know more about you, connect with you to see what you're doing, see how we can actually build business together, support one another, love on each other, on one another, pray for one another, and all those things. So until the next video, amen. God bless you and be empowered.